Welcome to Streams of Income, hosted by best-selling author and entrepreneur Dr. David Powers, where we discuss streams of income, passive income, residual income, and even why there are dinosaurs and zombies in this intro. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready to dive in.
Welcome, everybody, to the Streams of Income podcast. I am here with the Combat Midwife, and I got to be honest with you, this is one where I want you to listen to it because, you listen to these podcasts in your car when you're working out. You better be working out. But you listen to stuff like this, but this is one you're going to want to watch because you got to see this lady. She's pretty awesome. And I want to get it both ways. I want you to listen to it in the car, whatever, and then when you get home, pull up the YouTube and watch it again. I'll get the views. You'll get to listen to this awesome interview again and just be great for both of us. So I'm going to mess things up here real quick, and I'm going to pull up that doc you sent me with your intro on it because I could give you an awesome intro, but it's mainly based on what I know about you, but the one you wrote up is pretty good, so I want to tell everybody about you. So let's see. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Jessica has been affectionately dubbed the Combat Midwife by the over 100,000 U.S. Army combat medics, flight medics, and SOF medics, including Air Force PJs. Those guys are pretty awesome. Well, they're like the only awesome guys in the Air Force. She has taught in preparation for GWOT, OIF, and OEF, and if you know what those are, you definitely know. If you don't, you need to look those up. She's a midwife, paramedic, and EMS educator who has a passion for Ob-Gyn and pediatric emergencies. She's been instructing classes for midwives, EMS, and the military, and she is a published author regarding Ob-Gyn emergencies on how to navigate the out-of-hospital birth. Get ready for some tips and tricks for reducing anxiety and setting yourself and your patients up for success during out-of-hospital births and transfers. And then let's see this. I got to flip pages here. This is so untechnological for me. All right, her expertise in pre-hospital medicine and specializing in those emergencies and out-of-hospital birth transfers has been published in EMS World Magazine, and she's personally, this is cool, delivered babies in a variety of extreme settings, including an Afghan refugee camp when the U.S. pulled out of Afghanistan in 2021. Her fast-paced yet nurturing approach equips individuals, families, and medical professionals with the confidence and skills to care for women and newborns when it matters most. Whether training elite military teams or rural first responders, her mission remains the same: to ensure no birth is left to chance. And she gave me all kinds of links and stuff. They're all going to be in the show notes. And I want to add one final thing, Jess, before you introduce yourself a little more, is this is the first podcast guest since I started this podcast that has actually spent a night here on the farm. You are the first one. Everybody else is, I've invited a lot of people, but not many people are brave enough to spend the night on the farm. And so she spent a couple of days with us, did the mailbox walk that I talk about so much in the hot sun. And that was the day after you did that ruck event with us too. That was, you stayed here and we had workouts and stuff. Am I missing anything you want to add to all that?
Career-wise, no. There's much more to me as a human, but I think that sums it up career-wise.
Yeah. And what I wanted to really talk about, because if there's any medical professionals listening to this, you have got to go to her website, because we're not going to delve into teaching you how to do home births and stuff like that on this podcast. But if you're curious about that stuff, you got to go check her out and follow her on Instagram, because it's pretty amazing. And I am constantly amazed at the videos and stuff that you post on Instagram. And I'm surprised Instagram lets you, because we're talking graphic birthing type stuff.
They don't. I get thrown into meta jail often. Oof. Me and Zuck are not friends. I get thrown into literal jail. I can't get into my account. So when people are like, "You just disappeared," I'm like, "No, man, I was in jail."
Yeah. The most impressive, all the years I've known you, the video, there was one that it was like the woman was right at the front doors of the hospital almost, and basically caught her baby between her legs while she was standing there. And
Yeah.
she just seems so chill and calm. It's like, oh, here's the baby. Let me just carry this on into the hospital.
Yeah, so that was a birth center, and she was meeting her midwife there, and they got there before their midwife. So the midwife called 911, just precautionary, not because there's anything wrong, because there isn't anything wrong with birth. It's pretty normal. So that's why there's two police officers standing on the peripheries going, stroking out, going, I think I should have called in sick today, or maybe I should take that PTO. So that's the story behind that is yes, she caught her own baby, and the cam from the birth center caught all the footage. That's why it's a little fuzzy, but yeah, that's the story behind that one. That's a good one.
Oh man, there's two guy cops. Another thing that had to go through their mind was this woman is tougher than me.
Oh, me or the birthing mommy?
The birthing mom. I mean, to do that and be that calm.
Oh my God.
She had bigger cojones than they did.
Yeah. Oh, 1000%. Women are stronger overall than men, but that's just my opinion on that one.
Oh, well, I mean, you've got the experience with all that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you compare birth to when the pain of birth gets compared to other types of pain, it outranks even multiple bones being crushed in your body. So
yeah,
we win that one.
And you and I met at one of our streams of income. We met doing conferences. And let's see, was Connecticut the first one that we met at?
Yes.
Okay, so we both spoke at these conferences in Connecticut. The Connecticut EMS Expo, now it's EMS Pro Expo. But we met just talking and everything else. And I mean, two cool people. It was like magnetism. We just had to meet and talk and get to know each other because we had so much in common. But that was one of our streams of income for both of us, was speaking. And though we've got I don't know, a lot of pros and cons about speaking for public safety conferences, I mean, I love it.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, my big beef is that every agency has a training officer, and every training officer thinks they're a magnificent speaker and will speak for free, and so they don't want to pay good speakers. And
right. Well, that's an overarching issue with pre-hospital services in general. Is EMS specifically expects human beings to use their career as a volunteer platform. And so I am staunchly against that. And I've gotten dinged on that in the social media world. I'm loved and hated vehemently on LinkedIn because when people talk about EMS doing things out of the goodness of their heart, I'm basically the first one that pops in and goes, no, man, like the goodness of my heart doesn't pay my cell phone bill. So you can pound sand.
Yeah. Yep. And and it's just, so, a caution, if anybody's listening to this and they're wanting to become a speaker, if you're willing to speak for free, those conferences are great. However, if you want to make a living off of it, be sure you have another full-time job. You're not going to do that doing public safety speaking.
No, and I don't have to clarify for your listeners, I don't have a problem with individuals paying their dues, and I'm using air quotes for those who can't see me right now. I don't have a problem with people doing that. But there's a very fine line between being used and being compensated for the knowledge base that you have. I don't think people should be used. Like we could go to a completely different platform. Like think about Joel Salatin, right? He's kind of the guru in the chicken and farming world, right? And I'm not minimizing his education or what he does, but the man gets paid $10K or more a pop to be at a homesteading conference. So I really think that someone who went to school for a really long time and knows how to save people's lives should get thrown some zeros when they go speak at a conference. But maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. And I actually got the chance to meet him this year at a homeschool conference.
Yeah,
The guy
no,
is super nice.
Yeah. I'm not. He deserves to be compensated.
Oh, yeah.
So to be clear, I'm just simply saying it's kind of funny that the dude who butchers chickens gets paid zeros, but I shoved a tube down your throat and in your chest, and you're alive now, and I don't get paid. Like, that's not cool, right?
Yeah. Yep. You kind of earn more zeros when you pull a baby out the hoo-ha.
You'd think, but we gotta get creative, which is why we're here to talk about moolah today.
Oh, yeah. So tell me, well, before we just launch into all the random streams of income, you just relaunched your website, and tell us about that.
So she got a glow up. She got a summer glow up, is what I'm calling it. That's what the team is supposed to refer to it as. Yeah, so we did a relaunch. So the website always existed, but I felt like I had too many bits and pieces of information and too many different platforms. And I was getting frustrated with it. And I was thinking, then my followers are probably extra frustrated with it. So I just redid the entire website. Really, the team did, and took my vision and kind of made it into a reality of having everything I've ever done in the history of me being the combat midwife is in one location. So all of my free resources are there. The open source book I've done, the articles and other books I've been a part of, everything, the podcast, everything's in one location. And it just makes it a whole heck of a lot better to navigate. And plus I think it's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. And you have to do that every now and then anyway, just because what people look for in websites, it changes.
Yes, absolutely.
I've had to optimize mine a bunch just for mobile. It originally wasn't built for mobile, and it's like 90% of the people are looking at them on mobile now.
Sure, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely popular. We all do.
Yeah, so we can find some stuff on your website, including that shirt you're wearing right now, right?
Yes, you can. So you can get all of my fun swag, which I added some new stuff outside of the shirt. So there's a really cool camp mug. What else do I have on there? I forgot. I launched a bunch of cool swag items and for the summer, and then we'll do a whole new slew of them for fall because everybody loves a hoodie, and we'll do hats and all that fun stuff in the fall. I do have a patch and a new sticker coming, but that's all fall and Christmas launch. Let's see. And then my workshop and my OB kit, which is phase 1 of a multi-kit system. So the OB kit obviously will take care of emergencies when it comes to delivery. So it's the bare minimum of what you need in order to deliver a baby safely and have everything that you need to document and take care of postpartum hemorrhage. It's all in one kit. And then next year we'll launch an entirely new kit that feeds off of that one. And so they'll all stack and click together. It's kind of cool.
That is pretty cool. So if, whether you're doing, working for a pre-hospital agency or something, or you're a prepper, you definitely need to have one of those.
Yeah. And I've definitely had a lot of people who are doing medical missions get them, or they're doing kind of overseas civilian under the umbrella of the government. And we know those people never get the resources they need when they're overseas. So I've had a lot of people grab those. That kit was birthed, pun intended, out of a necessity. So I finished a training for a group that was going on a deployment, and they came up to me after class and said, "Hey, we know we might have to deliver some babies on this mission or care for some children. What should we do? What can we use in our aid bag?" So without trying to add a lot of weight, I subtracted and added some things. We dumped the aid bag out on the table, had a few adult root beers, and shot the breeze and kind of made it work. And so everything that's in that kit is what I've encouraged the flight medics or the ground medics or whatever to like change up their aid bag, because they get to modify it the way that it works, as you know.
Oh yeah. And I think it's pretty awesome though, because I mean, this one kit is good for Green Berets, helping a village somewhere on the other side of the world, or a homesteader like me. If I'd have decided to have another 10 kids, I would keep one handy here at the house.
Right, but you are also with you having the farm, as low profile as you're attempting to be, people, if something bad was to go on, like the floods that happened, or a hurricane, or a wildfire, and you guys are trapped there and other people have lost resources. If we think about what happened with Afghanistan, mothers were throwing their babies over the Constantine wire, right? A mother and a father will always sacrifice themselves for the betterment of their children. So you could, in theory, wake up one day and there's a pregnant woman sitting on your front porch who's going to have a baby soon, or they left a baby in a basket, because you already have children. Your children are cared for, they're loved, they're wonderful. Both you and your wife dote on them lovingly. And so they know that child would be taken care of. So a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm done with having kids. And I'm going, yeah, but you might need that. Not to mention, it's a really good idea to have stuff that even though you might not need, someone else can, so you can barter, right? It's a good bartering, leveraging tool. And so thinking kind of outside the box is also really important when you're thinking about prepping.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I always like to think from the point of view of like, what skills can I offer? Not, bartering skills and the stuff. And I mean, for me, it's going to be medical. I mean, because I don't have a huge farm, and I don't blacksmith, although one of my kids is doing blacksmithing classes now. Yeah. And so we'll have that to barter with as a family.
For sure. That's really cool. I saw some pictures of some really cool things. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I've got him signed up now. He's learning how to make knives and stuff in the blacksmith forge, and he's wanting to build a forge now here in the backyard. So
that's amazing. And skills like that, like skills like blacksmithing, welding, like those are dying fields.
Yeah, but they're like apocalypse proof. They're going to be needed
for sure, because not a lot of people think those are the sexy, cool things to be doing, but they built not only our country, but every civilization.
Yeah.
Those skills. So that's great.
Oh, yeah. And you and I are big friends of the Outlander show. And so pretty much think any occupation in that show is something that's apocalypse proof.
I love Outlander. and I'm going to find them stones. I'm going back. So if I disappear for good, you know where I'm at.
Yep. Yeah, we know where you're at. We just don't know when you're at.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So we've covered, you speak at conferences. That's one source of income. You have the website and lots of merch and this awesome OB kit. What workshops? You mentioned workshops. So you're not speaking at conferences, but you're actually hosting your own workshops now too, right?
I am hosting my own workshops. So they're all over the country. And it's an 8-hour all day course. We really go until everybody feels comfortable with everything, but it's an 8-hour class, kind of a 60-40 split on classroom and hands-on, more hands-on than classroom. And we spend all day learning how to take care of women and young children if they couldn't get to definitive care or they chose not to. So there's so many people that are choosing to exit the medical system and not utilize healthcare because, they're corrupt. And so it's nice to give people options. And so the variety of individuals, this class is from what I was always teaching and what I still teach the military when I work with them, because I still do that. So whenever I'm with the teams and I'm covering women and children's healthcare, these are the exact same lessons I'm teaching them. I've just pulled out the medical aspect that civilians can't use, and I've replaced that with homeopathy and herbal resources that actually do work, and I carry in my bag as a midwife and go to all of the time, and they work. And then I've pulled out like the care under fire, because I'm not teaching that to civilians. They can learn that another way. And so it's exactly the same information. This really just happened because I kept getting so many messages. Please, can I come sit in? I'll just audit your class. No, sorry, Jane, I can't bring you on base, right? Like, that's not a thing I can do. And so I really just kind of sat down and went, I could just teach this to people, and people are loving. I'm having full classrooms. People are loving it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds awesome. And I've been on your website, and I'll tell everybody here, if you're listening to this, that you hop on the website and you can see where the workshops are, how to sign up, all that good info is there, and it's really worth it. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have people join. It is a really fun day. We spend a lot of time together, and the purpose is not just to give people the medical education, but it's also to cultivate a community that you didn't know existed in your own backyard. So yes, while I could host them in Texas, where I'm from, and have everybody come to me, that would be a lot easier on me. I just find that one of the foundations of the Combat Midwife mission is helping people cultivate those communities. I get asked to deliver babies all over the country all the time, and I rarely say no. But the thing is that I won't always be on this planet. And so by being able to pass the torch of knowledge to someone else and they can care for their family, it's really awesome to be able to see that development and how it changes people's lives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's that old adage that, those that can do, those that can't teach. I always hated that, because the best teachers are the ones that have a body of knowledge that they can't not pass it on. They just absolutely have this urge to pass it on to the next generation and spread it far and wide. Absolutely.
I think I truly do believe that. I also think that it also just comes from, being a homeschool kid. Most homeschool kids just have a thirst for knowledge, because it's also cultivated in them at a very young age of the world is your oyster, and you can learn and do and explore and experience just about anything. And I think that's also been fostered for me as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so another stream of income you kind of alluded to is the teaching. So you do a lot of government contracts with the military, with other government agencies. And, that's not something people can access, but it's a pretty lucrative stream of income, I would assume, or at least a busy one. It
can be. Now, we do know that the world has kind of changed a little bit, especially after Afghanistan falling. So I'd say I don't do as many contracts like that now. They still exist, and it really is hit or miss on those, simply because the war machine has changed directions. And I know you understand that. But for those who don't, what is important to the military changes dramatically based on what is happening politically. That's all I'm going to say. One sentence, it's done. So when that has a humongous trickle down effect. One I don't necessarily agree with, because it actually would go against the mission of what the Combat Midwife is, and that is to always be ready, always be prepared, and always be training. And so that doesn't mesh well, but they don't ask my opinion when they should. They should.
Yeah.
They should.
Oh yeah. I mean, they could ask first and set policy by, asking the people that know.
That would make too much sense. That would use all logic.
Yep. All right. So, any other streams of income I've missed? I mean, I keep telling you need to write a bigger book. And get that out there. I keep also mentioning the podcast that you should start.
Yeah, there's only so many hours in a day, bud. So yes, the Combat Midwife book is coming, and it's going to mimic the field manual guides that you and I have had love-hate relationships with our entire career and know very well. So I'm going to mimic it off of that. So it'll be less, this is what is, this is what Jessica is, and more like a how-to, step-by-step. But Marines could understand it. And I mean that with all love in my heart.
So is it going to have pictures for us to color as well?
It will have pictures. In fact, you know what? Maybe I'll add a box of crayons with it for every sale. You can either color or have a snack. It's up to you. So yes, so I have a book coming. I was hoping for the fall, but I think that will be an early 26 gig. It's nearly done. It's really just in its roughest draft, self. Let's see, what else do I do? Oh, there's a whole midwifery option on my website. So under my services page, you'll see all the other fun things that I offer. So mentorship for students, whether they're midwifery or EMS, I offer that, as well as a whole slew of midwife options. So I opened up the doors last year to my virtual midwifery program. And so that's for families that maybe want to do a home birth or a free birth, but they just really want to be able to tug on someone's coattails and ask them questions if they need. Yeah. And so that has been really, really successful. So I still do all of the prenatal appointments and all the fun stuff. We do that throughout the pregnancy. And then I'm just virtually available. So FaceTime or Zoom or Teams or whatever works for their phone. And then I just kind of pop in and out through the labor, and they can deliver their baby at home. That free birth has really been on an uptick lately, and I think that's really cool. And so that is great. And then preconception counseling, fertility is at its lowest it's ever been in the history of us being on the planet. We're not producing enough to even replace the population that will die in the United States, let alone other countries in the world are also suffering from this. So in our lifetime, there will actually be populations of individuals that will just die off because they're not replacing them. And so that there's a lot that contributes to that, everything from the birth control pill, our water sources, the way we're eating, the sedentary lifestyle, the stress level, there's so much that's contributing to that. A lot we have control over, and a lot comes down to just men and women not understanding how both the male and female body even works. I did a podcast yesterday, and I was talking to a couple of guys, and they were asking some questions about why is the menstrual cycle so important? Like, why is my knowledge of that important? They weren't being sarcastic. They were sincerely asking. And I said, well, let's just start with your body first. You guys think that you're just a supply and demand system. It takes 70 to 90 days to make the sperm that are there with you today. So what you did 90 days ago of binge drinking, dumping caffeine into your body, not exercising, low testosterone, like that affects your offspring and your lineage. Dramatically. And we've recently found out in the last couple of years, everything from morning sickness to preeclampsia, miscarriages, that's a sperm issue. And since the beginning of time, women have always been villainized when it comes to fertility. I mean, there are queens that have been beheaded because they didn't produce an heir. So entire lineages have been removed from this planet simply because they wanted to point fingers at the wrong person. And I'm not at all saying that we need to point fingers at men. What I'm saying is that we both need to be responsible when it comes to our fertility. And so I offer an entire program for couples that want to meet with me and say, hey, can you help us with this? Or what should we be doing? While I am extremely nurturing, I am a no fluff person. So if you need to be loved and doved and wined and catered to, I am not your girl. Because I'm going to straight up say you need to remove the following items. Clean out your kitchen, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing I've been doing is, I've got 5 kids and we're done with that, but just for my health, getting rid of the plastics, getting rid of the nonstick skillets. We've switched over all that in the house because it also bears into what we're feeding our kids. Are we feeding them a bunch of plastics or actual real food?
Yep. Yeah, we need to have your feral children have more feral children.
Yeah, yep. And one thing I will tell the people listening is, if you haven't had your first kid yet, or if you have even, because me and my wife were talking about our first one, and we didn't know what we were doing. Like most couples, and the doctor just ran roughshod over any of our wishes, anything we wanted to do. We didn't know what to ask or what could be different. And so I'm telling the listeners, if you haven't been pleased with, I guess, the way you were treated with the kids you've already had, or you haven't had any yet, that is why you call Jessica and you have her be an intermediary for you, or give you the questions to tell your doctor, or convince you to do a home birth. Any of that, though. But just having somebody to, that's got your back, that can tell you, no, you don't have to do this the way the doctor said. Our first birth, like for instance, we wanted our first son was born so close to the 4th of July. And we thought it would be so cool because he'd have fireworks on his birthday. He was due on the 4th. The doctor didn't want to have to work on the 4th. And so he convinced us to induce on the 2nd. And that was our first kid. And we realized later on we didn't have to do that way. We could have done it naturally in the way it was supposed to happen. And it probably would have been a 4th of July birth. That would have been awesome.
That would have been super cool. That's so funny that you say that, because I've always wanted a 4th of July baby, because I was like, how freaking cool is that? That'd be so cool.
Yep, it would. And if we'd had somebody like you to tell us, or yell at our doctor for us, or switch doctors, whatever, that's what people need. That's what you're there for.
That is what I'm there for. I am good at playing interference for sure. And I may be pocket sized, but I'll yell at a full grown doctor.
Pocket-sized, fun-sized, however, but full of energy, and you are the person that's willing to yell at a doctor on behalf of a patient.
I don't care. We both put our pants on the same way, one leg at a time.
All right, so I tell you what, as we kind of wind up, one question I like to ask everybody, and this doesn't have to be just medical, but if you could recommend 3 resources for success in life, podcasts, books, people that people should follow, anything like that, like your top 3 go-to resources for success, what would that be?
The Bible. Get yourself a mentor, and then surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to do, believing what you want to believe, believe in you. It doesn't have that, one person doesn't have to fit all of those things. I'm just saying those are the qualities of people you want to have in your back pocket. A lot of people get frustrated with me because I'm pretty quick at just going, and so this friendship has run its course. Like we're and it's done. There's a reason for that. I'm not a heartless creature. I do care about people very, very much. And so what I know about myself is that I will empty myself completely in my attempt to fill you up. And that's actually not healthy for either one of us. It causes a codependency relationship. And so I'm actually doing someone else a favor by going, so this is just not jiving anymore. And so that doesn't mean I'll never speak to them again. It just means I'm not going to spend that much quality time with that person because it's not healthy. It's not beneficial for us. So I think it's very important that you surround yourself with people that are positive. And if that's not an option, because we've all been there where maybe family's toxic or friends are toxic or your work environment is toxic, because that's pretty much everybody's work environment. I don't know where they find these people. Absolute bottom of the barrel, right? Mm-hmm. Then you've got to be feeding your ears full of goodness. And so I do my darndest to try to start every day out with, I kind of am like in this Gregorian chant time of my life. And so it's very old hymns, very like reverent type stuff that I try to start my day off. And that playlist is about an hour or so. And so that's everything that I'm doing in the morning anyway. And then I periodically filter my day full of books or podcasts or whatever of people that I'm going to get my cup filled. Yep. So I am in control of what's being said in here. I am a human being. I'm a person. I make mistakes and I listen to people that I shouldn't be listening to, whether that's friends or families or the neighbor next door or whatever. It does happen. And so I work really hard to make sure. So those would be my 3 things.
Yeah, no, that's great. I heard somebody, I think it was Alex Hormozy the other day, was talking about, I mean, by nature with what we do, and especially what you do, you go into a room and you're the smartest person there, smartest person in the room. But outside of what we do for people, we should often place ourselves in a room where we're the dumbest one in the room. Because that means we're there with people that know more than us, that can teach us, that can lead into us. I mean, you got to be sure to find both rooms. Like, do something where you're the smartest one there, but be sure you're the dumbest one every now and then.
For sure, because I think you should also be diversifying yourself. So I even mentioned this at the beginning of our chit chat. Like, you're like, is that everything? I'm like, well, I mean, that's everything in my career. But I love to learn new things. And there's a whole part of me that the general public, that, again, air quotes, social media never sees. Like, there's an entire version of Jessica that nobody even knows exists, not because I'm hiding it. I'm not. It's that's not what I'm known for. So no one's head even goes there. Everybody thinks I'm a gun-toting, crazy lunatic person that's running around delivering babies. While part of that might be true, there's a whole other aspect of me that loves to make sourdough bread and wants to, have runner ducks in the backyard and live on a farm. And if I could spend my entire day painting Beatrix Potter, images and watching Sense and Sensibility, I'd be a happy, happy lady. So but that's just not where my life is at right this second, right? So God's put me in a place where I'm just in the fight, I guess, right now. And maybe I'll get reprieve in this life. Maybe I won't. Maybe I get to hang out with Beatrix Potter in heaven. I don't know. I'll have my own Peter Rabbit. So putting yourself in situations where you're learning new things, whether that means you're taking up a new hobby where it helps you escape from your streams of income, is also super important. For me, that's sewing and doing arts and crafts and baking and cooking. I think my friends get really burnt out of me sending pictures of the really awesome food that I create, because for me, that's my art, right? Like that's my escapism from the stuff that's going on. So, I turn off all the noise, the world noise, and put on a really great playlist, or, listen to a book rather than sit and read one. And I'll bake for hours because that's just really fun for me. And that's a way to learn a new skill and be practicing something and glean from other people. Again, putting yourself in a position where you're the dumbest one in the room doesn't necessarily have to be a physical room. It could be YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? It could be a podcast where you're just gleaning information from somebody. So there are pros and cons to living in the era that we live in and having the accessibility to the internet. And I am just choosing to use it to do positive things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I fully can picture this because I know you better and we talk a lot, in private messages and stuff. I can fully picture Jess 2.0 being like this country apothecary kind of, like, people come to your house wanting to get either stitched up, birth a baby, or cure an illness, and you're like pulling out this basket of herbs and honey and stuff.
2.0 version of me is Claire Fraser on Fraser's Ridge.
Yeah.
because she's living the exact life I would like. Maybe not doing the autopsies in the kitchen, maybe skipping that part, but definitely the herbal concoction. And when she's trying to make penicillin, I'm sitting there critiquing the whole episode going, she's doing all the steps right. Like, they had a really good advisor on that episode because I was like, that's everything you're supposed to be. So that is definitely 2.0. I just need some runner ducks because they're freaking cool.
Oh man. And I was watching some videos yesterday. The lady was talking about duck water. Like everybody treats it like it's a pollutant, but she was talking about how it's so perfect for liquid fertilizer.
Yeah, wouldn't it be? That would make sense that it would be. Yeah, that's so weird that people are.
Yeah, she actually put her ducks elevated above her garden, like on a little hill. So she just puts a hose in the duck pool and then runs the hose down to the garden.
And then she's collecting it at the garden at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
She almost like that's how God does it, huh?
Yeah, surprising.
It's almost like that's how our water systems work or something. They all flow at an.
Yep. Yep. And I was listening to Salatin the other day. He was talking about how he tried to arrange his farm the way God does it. Like the cows are in front and then chickens behind them. And then like as the animals move along, it breaks everything down. And then you bring the cows back around and they're eating all this wonderful grass and everything that's grown.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, since you brought it up, because just naturally because of who I am, I have I assume a largely male audience. Here's a weird thing that people will never hear on this podcast again, probably, but we can get it from you. If you could tell all these young men, or just childbirthing age men, 3 things they could do to improve their swimmers, what would it be?
Get your phone off of your body. That radiation that goes for both genders, but get it off of your body. Talk on your phone with the speaker or with the corded as much as possible. Throw away anything that emits EMFs of any kind. And that I would mean that for your whole house. So like get your laptop off your lap, turn your Wi-Fi off at night. So that would be number 1. Number 2, work out a lot. So the testosterone level today in men of childbearing years is lower than the geriatrics of World War II.
Wow, that's crazy.
This list is really long and I'm having a hard time whittling it down to just. So 3, I'm going to say is clean up I'll just make it broad. Clean up what you put in your mouth. So that's everything from nicotine, caffeine, get rid of all of it. So, get rid of those stupid Zen things, get rid of the caffeine drinks. I understand people like their coffee. That's fine. Have a cup of coffee in the morning. You don't need to have 8 cups of coffee. Yeah. Okay. And just completely cold turkey all of the energy drinks. It's really bad for your heart anyway. And then eat appropriately. And I mean that well-balanced meal. And well-balanced looks different for every human on the planet because we all have different blood types and we all have different genetics. But McDonald's is not well-rounded. So,
and French fries are not a vegetable.
No. Now, I love potatoes very much, and I know that if I just am craving having fries, I make them at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And you can do it in the air fryer. You can do it healthy with the right oils.
I love to put them in the cast iron and fry them in some oil so they're extra crispy. Like you can still have all these things. You just need to do it in a healthy way. But absolutely get rid of all fast food, all nicotine, just cold turkey it all and work out.
Yeah.
Oh, and your water. So no more bottled water because that's plastic. Mm-hmm. And I'm also be very picky about what goes in your body regarding water because the municipal water sources in our country do not filter out pharmaceuticals. Ooh. And that means that everybody is getting everybody else's pharmaceuticals, including the hormone pill, so the estrogen. So, that one person that will remain nameless that mentioned frogs turning was not lying. That's actually scientifically sound, and it's because of the estrogen, the synthetic estrogen that's in the water, and men are drinking it every day. And I truly believe that we will find out in the next 20 years that's what is contributing, not the sole reason, but what is contributing to the effeminate men we have today.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, I've been paying a lot of attention to my testosterone because I hit 50 this year. And most men think it's all about sex and having kids. But I mean, at 50, it's energy levels, it's muscle mass, it's everything. And I've been trying to make some changes. And you mentioned working out. I read a study that certain exercises, because they involve the torso and the legs a little more, actually will increase that blood flow. I mean, exercises that most men avoid, like deadlifts, squats.
Men avoid those?
Oh, yeah. Men skip leg day as much as they can. And they like to do the flashy ones. Like you'll see so many guys that'll have a nice chest and good shoulders. But if they pull their shirt up, it's nothing but flab from there down, and then little matchstick legs. It's all about just looking good.
Right, but you have to be proportionate in order to look good. I don't know.
Yeah.
My standard of men is, James Alexander, Malcolm McKenzie, Fraser. So it's real high.
He's farm strong. I mean, and he's got a great body, but he's not like a bodybuilder,
Well, that's not sexy. You want someone that can crush a watermelon with their legs,
Crush a watermelon, ride a horse, and raise their children in the same day.
In the same day, dude. In the same day. Yeah, and I know you're going to hate me, but number 4 is change your underwear. So as in, everything needs to be cotton boxers, not boxer briefs. So the hotter your testicles are, the less swimmers you have, and that will directly affect testosterone. So the more compressed and hot they are, not good. I'll give away a freebie. When people come to me for preconception counseling, he has to ice his balls once a day. Yeah.
You should maybe on the website sell, license the right kind of underwear for men. But because it is a big problem.
I am truly looking for, since we're speaking of not only revenue and different types of income, I am truly looking for partnering up with a lot of different organizations, like companies that I love, such as I love the Berkey water filter because it goes with me everywhere. So I'm the one that's like shoving my socks and everything in the Berkey that goes into my suitcase because I care about the water that I'm drinking. So if anybody has seen the movie Erin Brockovich, that was when PG&E dumped a lot of toxic chemicals into the California waterways. And when I was a child, I was exposed to that. And so my mom took me to the hospital when I had blood coming out of every orifice, my eyes, my nose, my mouth, my ears, and I'll let you just think of everything else down south. So I had blood just pooling out of me. And the ER doctor said, there's something going on with the water. I don't know what, but she's had an exposure to toxic chemicals. Now, my parents were very young, and so they didn't know, hey, we should probably go sue someone. So I could be really rich right now and then not need to be on your podcast. But here we are. So I'm very particular about water, but I want to pair up with Berkey and with a company that sells really good boxers for men that are not the boring white ones that we see in the 1940s movies. And everybody goes, whoa, are you wearing a sail on your lower half? Because there's so much fabric. I do want to do that because I want to be able to help people know what can you trust out there? Because it's so hard to figure out what can and can you not trust right now. And I've done so much of the legwork. Most people would think I was crazy, but there was a couple years there where I was testing every fertility thermometer. So I'd sit there and use all of them every morning. They're lined up next to me on my bed, because I don't recommend something to someone that I haven't personally used and I like. So, so I think that's coming. We just started kind of partnering up with some people, and I've reached out to some companies, so that is coming.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and you mentioned all that. I've got some ideas, but I'll send those private, and that way you've got the idea before anybody else does.
Thank you.
So, as we get ready to close out, any parting words? Like, this is closing out. You want people to remember one thing, if nothing else, about what you do or your income or anything else. What would that be?
I really should be better at this, since I speak for a living, and I get put on the spot sometimes. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I could talk for hours about all this. One thing, I think that everybody has a purpose on this planet and has something that they can contribute to somebody else. And I got the name, the Combat Midwife, because soldiers gave that to me. I didn't come up with that one day. I can't take any credit. They just started calling me that, and it stuck. And then all my coworkers started calling me that. And I was finishing up midwifery school. So I was seen as someone that was bringing value to the table, even when I was just getting my swimmer legs as a midwife. I mean, I had years of experience as in EMS at that point, but I was just getting my swimmer legs in midwifery, and I was still seen as someone that could bring value. And so I guess my going away message is, you may be learning something new, but when your passion is in it and you're all in that thing, you probably have way more to give somebody than not. So having a little bit of courage to turn that into a side hustle or a way you take care of your family isn't far-fetched. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I firmly believe all that. Yeah. And you were doing a great job in what God has called you to do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
And so we'll go ahead and close out, everybody. And she's talked about a lot of cool stuff. And I don't mean that in a bad way, like she's talked nonstop. Because I got to be honest with you, you have got to, if you can get to know Jess, meet her at a conference, go to a workshop. She does talk a lot, but you are going to want to sit there for every single minute of it. It's worth it completely. And so there's a lot of links in the show notes. I'll put those in there, and get in touch with her if you need her services. And honestly, anybody that's having kids needs the services and needs the training.
And I gave you and your followers a discount code, so I hope you'll put that in your show notes. But specifically for your guests, so wherever they're listening, they can pop on the website and see where the next workshop is and use that code to give them a discount, and it doesn't expire for your listeners.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'll throw that in there. I thought about saving it just for me, but I figured I'd better just put it out there for everybody.
Oh no, you can't use it just for you. So it's bare so everybody can remember it, but you'll put it in the show notes. So thanks, Dave.
Absolutely. Yep.